spot. So I think Gavin, like I said, he's been having an issue with this car ever since the start, but I think this is the time he can get it done.
Then our third member of our crew, that will be Robert Moyer Jr. Currently, it's Chris Stitz, and he's going to tell me in my ear if this is his actual pick, because I know before he wasn't sure. He was kind of thinking, I'm just going to pick the whole entire field, and there we go. It's cycling through. Robert Moyer Jr. can't make a pick. He's going to select everybody for us tonight, as it's Super Speedway Racing. Richard, it's the most known thing of NASCAR-style racing. When you come to a super speedway, everyone has a chance to win. As we take a look at our starting grid here tonight, sponsored by Lucky Duck Motorsports. Lucky Duck Motorsports, a great racing team to want to be finding a great community to race with, as well as have rewards to race for. They've got
Talladega, no fast repairs, or over the wall. We won't need those.
They've been making long-lasting connections throughout the iRacing community, and they love also being a part of the WSSR series and league. But their most favorited thing to be proudful of is the ways that they connect with different charities. You're going to see a lot of the Lucky Duck Motorsports drivers out on track like they've done all season long, showing off different charities.
So you're +5
connected with Tiltify. Go check them out on Lucky Ducks at X at We Are Lucky Ducks, as well as on Instagram at Lucky Duck Motorsports. Thank you so much for being our grid sponsor here tonight. As taking the poll up front, the drivers that look very strong, that dominated Daytona, it's the Cody Glencock's music team, Brian McCann, and Kyle going to be Ryan Kelly. Then in third, driver who's looking for a good run, just going into the chase. That's Chuck.
Did you guys lower your brake bias any for pit entry? I was just locking them every time.
Will be in fourth with Cedric Hunter starting in fifth.
Like every race, I went all the way down to
25 machine, last driver to win in this car in track combo.
I'm on 63.
Magic? Let's find out for the sixth machine with John Force. The numbers are lining up. 7 is
It'll lock the rears up when you get down below 100.
Nichols, your regular season champion. Congratulations to that 73 team. Number 1.
I didn't even realize the brake bias was 68 by default.
Top 10. It's the 31 of Thomas Green.
Brian Noel will be starting out in the 11th position.
I think it defaults to that
car with Ali Fonseca outside in his 24 car. Zach Hall starting back in the 13th position with Ben Keeney to his outside. Starting back in 15th will be Jarrett Talmadge and Larry Yingling starting.
Did y'all practice pit entry?
In the 16th position, and to round out the field, Jan Van Leer and Brian P. Johnson. Jan Van Leer looking to secure and make sure he just has a clean race.
He did have a famous one here a couple of years ago.
He's just got to make sure.
I think the last time we were here.
No, was it?
Brian P. Johnson. Those three drivers, as
only got 18 cars.
Jan Van Leer should be moving on to the chase because there's not enough drivers that show up. There's not enough bonus points. Jan just needs to survive and hope those three drivers don't win. We also want to say thank you to our title sponsor of Elwood Designs. Go check out Elwood Designs at yoursimwrapmarket.com, at Alan Elwood, as well as take a look at Elwood Designs. They've been around since 2012, helping iRacers have the best schemes out on iRacing. And head over to Simrap Market and look up Alan Elwood to see some bases that you can start your schemes off and create your own schemes out there on iRacing. Thanks so much to all.
Y'all know how many laps we can go on a tank?
It's been a up and down roller coaster of a season. Seeing Jake Nichols dominate early on, transitioned over to
iRacing thing's saying 40.
Ultimately, it's down to this:
you're
in or you're out. Who's making the chase is the ultimate question. And it all finishes after tonight's race is done. We'll figure out the 16 drivers that will try to hunt for the Season 12 championship of the WSSR Cup Series presented by Elwood Designs. Up front, it's the teammates, Brian McCann, Ryan Kelly.
Oh, hit the chip.
Ready for 90 laps here at Talladega as they roar up and go as they head across the line. This race is green. The regular season finale is underway as we head into turn number 1. And Richard, it's already clean side by side, but the drivers on the inside look to be good for now. But you know what? Coming out of turn number 2, that's the run you're waiting for from the 3 machine.
Yeah, the outside line, they might not have the kickoff speed the inside has because they've got the shortest way around the track, but you'll see it right there. The number 3, Ryan Kelly, a lot more momentum. The outside line always has that momentum right off the get-go, and that's what you're seeing right here. Ryan Kelly leading that outside line of those 4 drivers. Ollie Fonseca trying to catch up. John Forbes moving up to that outside line as they have Ryan Kelly leading lap 1.
Cody Reed. As Ryan Kelly on the outside, the 3 machine just trying to hit.
Yeah, I just stayed lower.
Forward. We've seen so many ways that you can win at Talladega. It could be the big one. It could be staying side by side. But for the first time in season 12, we're 3 wide.
I just didn't think we'd be making that move on lap
going around this circuit. They are really trying to make things work. It's the 3 machine now going to be faltering back to Chris Stitz, trying to pull up that 17. Up front.
Car right now.
Cut that close. Oh my goodness. If I didn't lift there, he would have clipped.
Reed as well. Power their way through the middle.
Yeah, that's Cody.
5 up front. The driver who loves to be aggressive and up front at all times. Cody Reed back to his favorite spot as he's running the same.
I ain't letting him lead a lap.
In season 7, he's hoping to do the same here in season 12.
It's really good.
Well, this whole race looks like it's going to be the hot line.
Seeing him up front, he likes to get up there. And you saw the aggressiveness of him making that 3 wide move on Ryan Kelly, which catapulted him to the front. But again, that middle line now, not the outside line, the middle line led by Jake Nichols had the run, but that inside line has a little bit more speed. Cody Reed gets the nose out front just a little bit, but Jake Nichols, again, that hard line, the momentum down the backstretch. But Ryan Kelly getting a push from Chris Stitz. He's trying to come back up as he's on the outside, making it 3 wide.
Trying to make the power moves. That call fastest lap that last go around, and then we're in just 2 laps in.
In the middle of the corner.
At 32, already trying to show signs of can I get up front as quickly as possible. Here at Talladega, if you look at the past, we've had 1 race go caution free. And with this small field, it is a likelihood that we would have a
being back here, you can do a race time for, I don't know, that'll be quicker.
There's also been 2 races in the past that only had 1 caution. That was last season and season 1. And then season 7 and 9 was the most cautions with 5 and 7. See if
3rd lane works.
I know we're going 3 wide, but as you can see on screen, there's plenty of room to stay 3 wide and be pretty comfortable with where you're running.
Yeah, that's the thing about Talladega is that not only the largest
Yeah, we're making it work right back.
goes to, but it is also one of the widest. 3 wide racing at Talladega is a normal sight. You see it at Daytona, and it's a sketchy time because it is very tight racing. But you can see there is another lane there that you can fit 4 wide if you really wanted to be froggy. But 3 wide racing here at Talladega, that is a normal sight. We will see that pretty much majority of this night.
Couple of drivers moving in the 3rd lane. Ollie Fonseca, Ben Kinney, both just using all the space to see which
Am I
lane
supposed to
like
try and move the left side or the right
but
side?
it's just a
No, I just gotta back up off you. You're good.
They're staying side by side.
I don't think there's much you can do when we're 3 wide.
As well as the outside lane that moved forward. Ryan McCann, Ryan Kelly, they are making some moves as Jake Nichols right on the back bumper of that 8 machine in the middle, just making this machine work. And this is exactly what we were expecting to see back at Daytona to start the season off. I know iRacing made some updates to the current version of the Gen 4 car, but with us transitioning over to
Said 300, that could have been bad.
legacy Gen 4 3 weeks ago, this is fantastic racing. Already seen quite a bit of movement. Some of the bigger movers is Cody Reed and Jake Nichols. 4 spots is Cody Reed. Nichols up 5 from the start of this race from where they qualified.
Yeah, this is definitely a breath of fresh air with this car switch over to the Legacy Gen 4 because, I mean, we were at Daytona at the start of the season. I mean, you could see that it was just like they tried to get in line as quick as they possibly could, and that was pretty much it. Here you see them. They are still 3 wide as we are 6 laps into this race, and they are not looking to get single file anytime soon. I mean, for 18 cars on the track, everyone is trying to make every move and jostle around, trying to get to the front as quick as
we are racing pretty hard for lap 7 here.
Doing everything.
I kind of want out of it.
Up front in his must-win situation.
After I led my lap,
As Brian Peterson who rolls back 18 currently. He started there.
I think I'm going to drop low here.
Fastest lap, and he's able to just go full throttle following this crew. But here's a sense of what it's like to be in the middle of the pack. Right in the dead center is Ben Caney, one of the 3 drivers that's in a must-win scenario. This 98, as well as the 00 of Brian Noel, who runs in 4th position. The second car on the inside, as well as the 28 of Brian.
I think I'm going to drop back on the back stretch.
Must win if they want to race for the chase. But currently, it's Ben who's the driver of, what are we going to see here tonight? Is it early aggression?
What did they just say? I forgot I
late aggression. Because you also know.
Alright, you blinked a few times. Just heads up, you're good now, though.
Factor of this evening.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a big factor.
Yeah, you're good now.
Oh my gosh, we had a huge blink from Ryan.
I don't know if they stay too wide, I might stay here.
2 or 3 seconds.
I think they were talking about screws loose in the head, Larry.
Maybe I'll drop back when somebody gets in front of me.
People that are following you completely lose the draft because you were literally not there. So that outside line now lose all the steam that they have. They're going to have to fall in line to get
Sit
to
on
the
the
draft.
bottom here, Ryan, if you want to get down.
The fuel mileage is going to be a very interesting thing.
Sorry. I don't want to check them too much.
This can be won or lost tonight.
And I was just given word right before.
Yeah, you're good now. You didn't blink this slot.
No, 40 to 45.
Yeah, you could probably jump qualifying off since I'm not really watching.
Drivers in a spot here on this run. At some point, you need to find a way.
It's actually William Byron at the pole.
To me, you've got enough to turn this race into a one-stop if we stay green.
There you go, back to back.
It's going to be interesting to see which drivers try to push it all the way to the end. I mean, you have drivers that are leading their lines right now. They're not going to be able to do that full 45 lap stretch. But, I mean, if they want, McCann is going to pull out of line here. I don't know if he got hot or if he's going to try and come back and, save from fuel. He might be listening to us because he knows the strategy. So he's going to fall back, get in line. He's going to try to 5-lap park so he can make it a one-stop race.
Well, if you were curious on what the Lucky Duck Motorsports driver colors look like, well, they're leading all 3 rows. Inside is going to be the 7 of John Forbes, the 00 of Brian Noel, Jake Nichols leading the middle, and on the outside, it's the 1
Oh, we can go 34 more laps.
Of Jarrett Tallman, as well as the 98 of Ben Keeney, all Lucky Duck Motorsports drivers. All the thick of things up front. The only 2 that are not
Did you mean to come back here,
Lucky Duck Motorsports is going to be Ollie Fonseca in the 24 and the 25 of Cody Reed.
Yeah, this can be a one-stopper.
Inside of our top 8 are Lucky Duck Motorsports drivers.
Yeah, that is impressive to see, and that is just
If you can make it 45 laps as a one-stopper.
Together as a team, as one unit.
Yeah.
It's close.
Oldest race it was what it looks like. The downside is you have 2 of the
46 right
that
now.
are trying to fight their way into the playoffs. That's going to be your 00 Brian Noel and the 98 of Ben Keeney. So it's going to be interesting to see who they prioritize of trying to get into that final playoff position.
Yeah, it's going to be the thing for Lucky Duck Motorsports is we saw back just a season ago.
I think Kenny's the second car on the outside lane, so I don't really expect it to go
Tanner
great.
Bethea, who was a part-timer for Lucky Duck Motorsports, could have helped Drew Jua get a win that could have pushed him into the next round of the playoffs. Ultimately, went for a pass instead and hurt both drivers from winning that race. And ultimately, it was Jared Talmadge that took the victory last season. I'm curious on if maybe they talked about as a team of helping who needs the win or not.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, who they decide to help on doing that, or even if they try and help them do that. Because, I mean, as a team, you would think you would try to help your teammate try to get into the playoffs, but you see the front 5 there starting to pull away. They got into a single file line there, which helped them pull away a little bit, but Cody Reed is like, I'm not having any of that. I'll be up front, lead this race, and he's trying to challenge again with Ollie Fonseca to get back up front.
Trying to find your openings, trying to take off and go, but all 18 drivers, 12 laps in, still connected in the draft. All 18 drivers within a second and a half of one another. Just showing how the draft can just keep everyone so close and compact with each other.
Zach ahead of you and
thank you to everyone that's joining.
Johnson behind me. They've been back here the whole time, so I expect them to be awesome.
This is the final race of the regular season to see who will be the 16 drivers racing in the chase, which starts next week.
You expect them to
New
what?
Hampshire. That is going to be a
do a
very
one-stopper.
tough start to the chase.
Oh, 10-4.
Because we're going to that mile.
I'm pretty sure I can make it.
New Hampshire surface. That is going to be a handful.
It's going to be close, though.
Especially with what torque is in these machines and how loose we've seen them be the last few weeks. I'm
Sitting
excited
about
for next week.
Yeah, next week's
I'll be
gonna
able to make the
really
lap
exciting.
45
It's
right
very
now.
Flat 1 mile track at New Hampshire, and I can tell you now, if Douglas Newbigging shows up next week for that race, I guarantee you we'll see him, if not just him, but a few other drivers.
I'll have to go in on lap 45 and, you know, come out on 46.
Like an MO for Douglas for himself. So Ben Keeney up there in the wall on the outside. He's going to lose a lot of momentum to that front group. He's got to try to recover and try to get back up there and get into a draft.
A little bit of a scrub, and you're hoping that it's just that. A little bit of a scrub. There's no aerodynamic damage. Grab will lose a little bit of draft on the outer group, but still is connected to the group. Last couple of laps, no one's really pushing the limit on speed. Everyone's been running about a half a second slower than their fastest times. Taking it easy, just trying to hold steady. But Ben Gainey, you better stay away from that outside wall. You're one of the 3 drivers that needs a win. And if Ben or if the 00 Brian Noel find their race being ruined and they're out of the race, I mean, that makes things a lot easier for Lucky Ducks to focus on who they need to see in the victory lane. As Jake Nichols leads this race, Cody Reed, Alton Fonseca, middle groove. That is where they've been staying for the 24 and 25. They have been just trying their best to hold steady as Cody Reed drops low to give some fresh air to that 24 machine of Alton Fonseca.
He's going to give a little bit of fresh air for Fonseca himself to cool that motor down, but it's also going to give him the lower part of the track, which is the quickest and shortest way around the track. That'll help save a little bit of fuel. I mean, when it comes to a fuel game, every opportunity you can to save some fuel, whether it's getting in the draft or even just getting to the bottom of the track, you're saving.
I think I'm going to change my right side tires.
Of fuel, and it adds up over a long run. So it could be part of the reason why he's down there.
Just right.
Control this lane.
Yeah, because
but also save.
Real easy to lock them up going in,
as far as we can.
and it's the rights that lock up.
Best as you can. I'm curious if we can hop on board with the 27. That's in 8th place, Jarrett Talmadge. Get her right along with the 27 because he has been right on the back bumper of and this is exactly what the drivers see for themselves. I mean, Richard, this is a tough view. You got drivers to your left. You're trying to get as close as you can to the driver ahead of you, as well as looking at the tachometers in front of you and trying to make sure you're not blowing up your engine.
Yeah, you got to pay attention to those fuel, not the fuel, the temperatures on your gauge. I mean, it's a delicate balance when you're pushing someone. You can't just lock up to their bumper and stay there the entire time because that engine's getting no fresh air. That fresh air, you know, out in front helps keep that motor cool. You heat that motor up too much, you're going to have a big puff of smoke and you're going to be out of the race. So it's a delicate balance of pushing and getting a little bit of fresh air, backing off, or even just, you know, trying to get up front and lead for a long.
As we were watching and running on board with the 27 here of Jarrett Talmadge, again, trying to find a way to win here tonight. And if we see the 27 win, it could be the first driver to have multiple wins here at Talladega. This track has never seen someone win here twice before. We've had of 7 times in the past and have 7 different winners. Be cool to see if one of those have a chance. Cody Reed, winner of season 7. Zach Hall, who was actually a part of the 3 wide finish of season 7, but he won in season 6.
I'm pretty sure you're locked in playoffs. It's a shame to not race.
3 drivers with a chance to try to get there.
I think a new winner was
Talladega
like the only thing
win.
that could
Also a fun note for Jarrett Talmadge.
Not
he
like
is the
in the
only
top 16
driver,
outside.
Coming to the regular
no one
end of the
showed
regular
up.
season race that actually locked himself into the playoffs with winning that last race of the regular season. He entered in to last season being the driver that was in a spot where he needed to get the win as he was tied with a chance to go into the playoffs and got it done. We'll see if tonight someone else can join him in that class. So you win and you're in. We always see someone who was already solidified get the win done and do what's been happening for most of the WSSR Cup Series.
Yeah, we'll have to see what driver can do what Jarrett Talmadge did last season. But Jarrett Talmadge, he is definitely not in that situation this season at all. He is currently 5th in points. He is well locked into the playoffs himself. I mean, he's had a phenomenal season himself. 8 top 5s and 10 top 10s under his belt. So Jarrett Talmadge has had a heck of a season. for himself, and he's glad to not be in that position where he has to win to lock himself in.
Yeah, most of this 27's wins have been at the super speedway track, so let's see if we can put another one for himself. Another driver who's been very strong at super speedways, leading the inside row. That's the 25 Cody Reed, in a spot where he's been a lot of times coming to this track. When you see Cody Reed driving loose, knowing that he's got a chance to kind of shake things up. He's not running to make the playoffs, but just running to have a good time. This 25 usually puts on a fantastic show, as currently but starting to lose help, as the next driver that's going to be close enough to him is the 7 of John Forbes, just 2-3 car lengths back in the 25. Falters, and it's the top 4 that are moving forward.
Top 4 able to get that outside lanes moving again as the 25 faltered ever so slightly, so he's going to be in the back. But again, this allows him to save some fuel, not a big deal. But Gavin Rogers, he is up front, the #1 machine leading this pack. That has got to feel good for Gavin Rogers. Ali Fonseca is going to look to his outside and try to take this lap away.
Wants to lead this lap, he's the 24, and with momentum on the outside, will do so. Ali Fonseca just running out there to have some fun for himself. 24 is trying to find a little bit more sneaky speed. He's been in the top 10 runs the majority of the time this season. Enters this evening 11th in points, already solidified for the chase. And we'll see how Ali Fonseca competes heading into New Hampshire, as Jarrett Talmadge and also Ben Kinney having a little bit of almost a bump heading into turn 3. Yates loses his drafting partner and will fall back in line in the middle of the the one thing that we really haven't touched on is the fact that with this Legacy Gen 4 car, and the fact that if you hit someone too hard, you could be scooping up the driver in front of you.
Nice to have a fast forward button.
Be on complete focus mode at all times here tonight.
Yeah, I know when I raced the these cars also back in season, I believe it was season 7. I kind of experienced that going into the pits. Actually, I went in a little bit too hot, kind of lifted the rear end up of Christopher Norris going into the pits. So yeah, you don't want to hit the drivers or the other cars too hard because of the way that these the front bumpers and the rear bumpers kind of line up. You can do a little bitty tap, but it can't be a
If we're getting a full tank, could we get 4 tires, no time penalty?
Drivers up front into their comfort zone, the rest of the field taking it easy, and I mean easy.
If we're getting a full tank of fuel when we pit halfway theoretically here, could we get 4 tires with no time penalty?
They put down.
That's what I'm thinking.
Been recognizing fuel is the key. We got to save a little bit before we start taking off and going.
I think
as pit stop.
I think the fuel would be longer. I think
this race around lap 44 to 45.
I think so.
Trying to get to 46 if possible. And that's going to be the fun.
It feels a little tight to me, so I think the fuel would help.
It was save enough fuel
for sure
to turn this race into a one-stop.
I'm having a lift on entry, not kill the person above me.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who's actually been saving fuel properly, who's been saving either 2. So, I mean, it can easily be turned into a one-stop race for the majority of these drivers, but
I got them all checked.
You got to pay attention to those fuel numbers. You got to
pay attention to windshield tear off.
Fuel, and leading the packs is way of saving
all the fuel.
Those that have been leading
so
for
we're good
quite
to
a while, you might not be able to make it as far as the guys that have been kind of sitting in the back and chilling. So it's going to be interesting to see when the pit stops coming up around lap 40 to 45.
As the field gets out, you would see these drivers hit 200 miles per hour on entry into turn 3. This go around a 202 miles per hour for Ali Fonseca on the outside. These drivers are flying around here at Talladega. The 2.66
consistently push without almost blowing up.
On the front straightaway, when they go around the tri-oval, they're going at 16.5 degrees banking. A little bit of help when they're going down the front stretch. Then they flatten out. It's 2 degrees, and they go climbing up to 30 degrees of banking in the corners, and that tilting action that the drivers feel. It's so bizarre when you're racing. You really don't feel it as crazy when you're driving, but in person, these tracks are monstrous when you see the degrees of banking that they're having through the corners.
Yeah, it's actually really insane. If you ever have a chance to go to a race at Daytona, Talladega specifically, those two, I mean, just going to the track, watching the race in person is just insane. Feeling the power of the cars, just hearing them, seeing how fast they're going, and yeah, the banking. Like I said, driving an iRacing, you don't really notice it as much. It's just kind of natural for the drivers, but seeing it in person, standing there down on the track and then looking at the curves, it's like these bankings are massive, and it is hard walking up these bankings on barefoot as well.
I mean, it's hard when these drivers come to a complete stop and try to just drive straight up the corners. They stall out at certain spots. So the field in certain situations, coming to the big one, always got to be careful to get going safely. Seeing majority of the field get in line, and it is a conga line to save fuel. No one's really putting the pressure from about 7th on back. Top 6 still side by side and having their fun, which I'm not surprised. If you look at these drivers that are in the top 7, in the top 6, majority of them are drivers that if they are given the green light, they will race up front and be aggressive. I want to say Cody Reed, Gavin Rogers, Chris Stitz, and of course, John Forbes in the 7. They've been waiting for an opportunity to. Everyone's given the notification, get in line. Ben Kinney, though, the lone survivor in the middle group.
I figured that would happen. I figured everybody go one line, and I wanted to not be in the back.
That someone's going to let him in. I kind of would have expected Gavin Rogers to maybe let him in, but that's not.
So while there was a little draft,
ahead of him at this point. So Bikini is
I didn't really gain too many positions, only about 5.
I think Kenny's up here by himself, and he's not falling back on the outside.
Still,
he's actually gaining ground.
You would think you would have already fallen back, but with the pace everyone's
That looks
running
cool
right
on the
now,
broadcast.
everyone's trying to save.
If they're still awake.
Allowing the 98 currently to hold position and now gain time on Cody Reed. And with the 25 heading into turn 1, and with the momentum, he finally finds a spot to slot in. That is very intriguing to watch. As you made the call, you expected Gavin Rogers to make the move. It was just a lap later when he decided to give space for the 98.
Yeah, that was really impressive from Ben Keeney, able to keep up with those front-running cars, doing the right thing, just kind of side drafting. And, you know, I will say, when you were on the outside line there, if you position the car properly, you can get a little bit of drafting help through the turns. It's just down the straightaways, it can be so much harder. But Ben Keeney was able to get just enough draft to kind of keep up with him. And then, yeah, Gavin Rogers allowing Ben Keeney back in line so he doesn't get completely shuffled to the back, because this is where Ben Keeney needs to be. He needs to be up front, and he's got 2 cars in front of him. And if he can keep this spot, that's only 2 cars he's got to pass when the checkered flag's about to fly.
Well, we're about 15 to 16 laps away from expecting to see pit stops. Quality, welcome to a race like the pros. Go check out GTR simulators, as they've got racing rigs that can simulate like you're in your own racing cockpit, as well as have compact versions of racing rigs you can fold up and get out of the way if you got a smaller room that really can't hold a stationary rig. Go head over to GTR simulators today and go check out from the compact V2 GTR rig to their many more racing rigs that they have, from top tier racing league level rigs and more. Head on over to gtrsimulators.com and remember to use the promo code WSSR.
You're still looking at 145
at checkout for $100 or more purchases. Don't miss out on your chance to upgrade your rig and race like the pros.
Yeah, I'm going to be close as of right now, but
30 laps in.
Basically on 45.
And it's still, you know, we're right back where we were to start the season off. The conga line has shown up, Richard, and I'm not surprised by it.
15.6 at the line.
Surprised on the fact that our front 2 is, our front 3 is Ollie Fonseca, Cody Reed, and Ben Keeney. That would not.
We ran the third lane, like first.
To have leading this conga line right now.
Yeah, definitely a no.
I mean, Cody Reed, Talladega leading this Conica line.
I've been back here with Zach all the time, and I think
I'm really shocked that
if he does one more lap on 46, I'm gonna go with him. Just in case I have to lead the pack.
Make it to one.
That would be a huge benefit. That way you don't have to save for the last 45.
For them to get into a single file line. So, but this is what we're going to see probably for a good 20-something laps, more than likely, or at least between 15 and 20 laps when the green flag pit stops start. And we'll have to see what drivers decide to come with each other so you don't come out alone and you have a big enough group to be able to catch up when everyone's done.
And seeing all these drivers in line again, the pit window we were given, if you're just going full bore, not saving, was about 44 to 45 laps of fuel. And if we're saving on this run, it would put you on the short mark around laps 47 or coming up.
Is Ollie in the lead?
I'm curious on the amount of drivers that are going to be thinking about
he is.
On the second run, and you want to pit a little bit sooner, maybe
him,
put a little
Cody, and Ben Kinney, and Gavin, and me.
Whereas everyone stretching it out to empty on this go on this first stint. Really the big question for everyone. And then I think once we see pit stops happen, is who's going to make pit stop mistakes? Because that has been a killer for a lot of drivers this season, is having unsafe pit entry, pit road, poor exits. And then the big one, I think, for a lot of drivers, who's taking tires and who's not. Because 90 laps on one set, you wouldn't think would be too crazy, but we were seeing a lot of big sliding moves in the early goings of this race. I hope you still would have this set of tires late in this race if we're just going to have a one stop.
Yeah, I think, I don't think anybody's going to take fuel.
At least we got the two safest drivers. Three safest drivers in the field leading
tires. Because I know sometimes at these super speedways,
they might be saving actually.
Wear a lot more than the right side. So, I expect.
It feels like we're running kind of slow.
Two tires during their green flag pit stop. But yeah, you were saying, pit road entrance, it is something that these drivers definitely need to practice, because when you're pitting under green flag, you have 6-7 cars coming all in at once, all going almost 200 mile an hour and trying to slow down to 65. That's a massive amount of speed they have to shave off. So
yeah, my fuel gauge keeps going up. I keep getting more laps I can run.
For the hold when you're speeding in the pit lane. So you got to dodge all the cars trying to slow down and see if you can't outbrake others, because you can make passes going into pit road.
Well, Cody Reed.
At this rate, I can almost go 2 extra laps.
Same line as the 25. He's just bobbing and weaving his way on the backstretch, and nobody is following suit because everyone's doing the same strategy.
Yeah, more like F12.
And whatever the leader does, we're going to do the same and try to save as much
I'm not complaining.
possible. And for us, because we're seeing the driver's board, we're going to step away.
Every little bit helps. What's that second place car doing?
I'm curious if Robert's
That's Cody.
this one. We're going to see if we can throw it to a commercial break.
Cody.
As we've got ourselves and everyone's staying in
we're 10 miles per hour off pace right now.
Deciding to do a little bit of snaking for themselves. But don't worry, you won't miss a thing as we'll go side by side. You're watching the WSSR Cup Series presented by Elwood Designs. It's the regular season finale here at Talladega.
You're going to jump up to the side, Pez?
Good.
I don't recommend Eustace burning your fuel.
See, I'm not. Tell you what, I'm out at the line. It's probably still close. At this rate, 10.5.
10.9.
11.7.
11.8.
The leader just did a 18.537.
Last time this happened, someone went and they nearly lapped the field. I think that was on Trinity, right?
Yep. It was Cody and I think Kanata. My air pack was like wrecking and it was like Jesus.
Yeah.
I think it would have worked if the Carson didn't come on.
The 2 leaders determined they got enough fuel.
No, I think they realized they're way short, so now they're trying to push.
They're not even really pulling.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Freaky Fast Broadcasting on your Wednesday night. You're watching WSSR Cup Series Racing, as the WSSR Cup Series is presented by Elwood Designs. This is Season 12, Race 12 at Talladega, the last race of the regular season.
You can go 6 laps across the line.
On the line for the last 15 laps or so. We still have about 5 more laps before the pit window opens up for a 1-stop. But interesting enough, we're seeing a little bit of a gap building up. The reason why, 2 drivers
5.7 when you said it, or at the line?
field is still
at the
saving
line.
fuel. That's all for the sake of Cody Reed. No longer waiting. They want problem. It's just the 2 of them, and they might feel like they've got enough fuel
I should be able to get 6.
push it and still make that window. Question is, how quickly will they be caught from the rest of the field?
That same
still
number.
in save mode. As the difference, about a half a second between the top 2 and the rest of the field. As Ben Gini seems to be running high. Gavin Rogers, he
always
said,
drop
all
back
right,
here and
we'll
say even more
slice
fuel.
our way around one another.
Sure.
But Richard, this is a bizarre situation that's building up of our top 4 saying, let's go. And the rest of the field are now 2.5 seconds behind them.
Yeah, Cody Reed and Ali Fonseca, they kind of checked out and left. I mean, the downside is they are going to be using a lot of fuel doing so. And Ben Keeney, he decided to exit from the front of this group. I don't know if it's to try to catch those front 2 or if he's just trying to save some fuel, because he was leading that group for a while. So, the 00, Brian Noel, he blinked a few times. That's scary when you're close to
Well, they're going in early.
But looks like back to being a stable connection.
That is a bold strategy.
This group right here, they are definitely into fuel conservation mode. And it looks like the leaders have pulled into the pits.
I don't think they thought much of it.
Ali Fonseca and Cody Reed, they did not make it to the numbered zone that they needed to. That's going to be around lap 47 to 46 is the number that you need to hit if you want to stretch the fuel out to the end of this race for a one stop and only able to get the lap 42 with our top two. That is not a good call by the both of them because they didn't even make it to the end. And also, black flag for Ollie Fonseca.
Yeah, I'm just trying to save as much as I can.
Because now Cody's going to be all on his own as Fonseca will be 30 more seconds.
Oh, that is detrimental to those two. Ollie Fonseca, and that's exactly what we're saying. You gotta not speed going into pit road, and that will leave Cody Reed.
I can go 3 from here.
And he will just not be able to keep up with this field when they get their free stops done. So that, unless a caution happens, that is almost
2.6.
Ollie
somehow burnt more fuel.
To see for the
the big positive thing that
makes sense.
Yuri and Ollie Fonseca took off, and they had about a 2-second gap lead between the top two to the rest of the field. The rest of the field still is
staying out.
That's yet.
I'm staying out too.
We were seeing at the start of this race.
Make sure you put full fuel, my oil fuel, which was
202 miles per hour into turn 3. They're about 10 miles per hour slower than that when they entered into turn 3 there. And over the radio, Gavin Rogers making the sign. They're headed into pit road. So stretching the fuel out to the window that we were thinking about a 46 to 47. Not going to be the case for the 98 nor the 1. They have to pit.
I'm going to have to pit this time.
45. That puts a little bit of concern for those two drivers. As for Rogers, Ben Keeney, they're going to have to fuel save on this next run to the end of the race.
I'll just cycle back around with you guys.
Save quite a bit of fuel. Unfortunate for
You're staying out. I'm staying out one more.
Rogers and Ben Keeney working together. So, I mean, again, by themselves, nobody else came in with them. I guess they
just speed did, so I don't think you should lose
they needed to. As we're about to hit the halfway,
I'll be okay.
No, wait.
They were so close to.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm staying out.
And they still can technically.
Nope,
now they got to be back in the field and further back than probably what they want to do, especially for Ben Keeney, who needs to win this race.
A little bit of a mistake from Gavin Rogers. He had to back up during his run. Now
we're going to have a lot of cars pitting.
Of drivers into pit road. It's more Lucky Duck Motorsports drivers.
I'm going to be hitting my brake early.
As well.
Okay.
Nichols and Chris Ditz joining along in that ride. As looking at the lap times, Cody Reed 52.3, and he will be slotted in front of Gavin Rogers and Ben Keeney. So that is a positive for the 25. He has 2 other drivers to work with. But they better get rolling quickly because the front pack is right behind those 3 drivers.
Yeah, the front pack right behind them catching up, but the front pack right now, they still have to pit. So, I mean, it's not too detrimental unless a caution comes out, then they're going to be a lap down. But the rest of the field looks like they're diving in to come into the pits. So this is going to.
As it's everyone who has it pit, multiple drivers sliding, multiple drivers going around as Brian and Noel goes for a big slide. He's able to get rolling, still in the middle of the pack. Also going to be Ryan Kelly with a big slide, but it's Van Lair. Black flag for the 10 machine. He's into the pit
60
wall,
worked to practice.
And the 10.
I got it unsafe.
He's no longer in his hands. He's now just hoping that the 98, the 00, and the 28, none of those 3 drivers win. Because if they do, they take
it'll wreck at least once. There's no way this guy's going
of the chase. Yawn, that is the worst thing you could see for yourself as he's got a 40-second hold now.
Man, you hate seeing that. Just caution or black flags is not what you want to do in a small field where cautions are more than likely not going to happen. So he's going to have to come out by himself and hopefully hook up with Ollie Fonseca potentially. But these drivers coming out of pit lane, we've got Brian McCann. He's trying to file back up. He was caught really low down the apron trying to get back up in line for this group right here. But unfortunate that we've had 2 black flags for these green flag pit stops.
Watch just make sure everyone got a safe re-entry onto the track, and they will do so. The best drivers that exit out of pit road and are leading this race, John Forbes Jr., Chuck Sweeting. Those 2 drivers really maximize their pit entry and exit. The 57 and the 7 trying to take off and go, but catching up quickly going to be Lucky Duck Motorsports drivers of Jake Nichols, Jared Talmadge in line and motoring their way forward as it's a little bit of 2-car tango that's going on right now. Seeing drivers pick your partner and take off and go as Lucky Duck Motorsports now going to be 1, 2, 3 as for 1 pit stop of the evening for majority of the field is done and dusted. get in line. And after pit cycle concludes, 11 drivers going to be in this lead pack. Jan Van Leer, who had the black flag hold, he is currently the first driver, 1 lap down. He's about to be passed by Ollie Fonseca with the 10. Hoping to get in line and to stay connected to this pack, but he's going too slow. They're running
Right
too
front was
quick.
71%.
And the 10 is losing track. He's now going to need 2 cautions.
70
He's
staying
gonna
back
be
the whole
getting
time.
himself rolling and hopefully getting the lucky dog spot because Ollie Fonseca's with this lead group.
73.
Cody Reed, Gavin Rogers there to really closing in on the gap. Now make it 14 drivers that are in this lead group online, and Gavin Rogers setting the fastest lap of the race. Here we go, Richard. This is the go time, and Cody Reed saying it's go time as he's making the move all on his lonesome on the outside. No fuel saving for the 25 currently.
Cody Reed making the move on the outside line. Just know he was one of the first cars to pit under a green flag. So he's definitely got than everyone else, but he thinks it's go time. He wants to get back up to the front. I'm curious if he thinks everybody else won't make it on fuel, but I don't believe that could even be a thought because at this point we know Cody Reed
Al Busch on pole
will not be able to make the rest of this race on fuel, but there they are straight back up to the
Nice.
front as if everybody else is standing still.
Why are we running so slow on the bottom
Yeah, I
line?
mean, it's a big run for the 25, and I think for
Good
the
question.
25 and the 24 that are now
Who is-
aligned with one another,
Who's leading the bottom line?
their mindset is we're now
Nichols.
gonna
I guess they think
Oh.
we still need to save fuel.
Get in line and try to
Yeah,
pull away
the
from
last
the
lap of
they're going to be in any point as
the last few laps before we put it there, the fuel burned a lot quicker.
In the lead group to at least do a splash and go. I think for Cody Reed and for Ollie Fonseca, maybe for Jan Van Leer, I mean, they need. As
Well, they
Ollie
pitted 1 lap
Fonseca
less
gonna
than
be
we-
leading this race
they-
currently. He's
Yeah, 1
the
lap
one
less.
the hard
They
way.
put it on 45.
The 10, he's trying to do the same, get in front of Cody Reed, and both the 10 and the 24 would be on the lead lap technically.
Yeah, they technically would be on the lead lap if Jan Van Leer can get around the 25 machine of Cody Reed. He's doing everything he can to try to get his lap back, but he is the lowest bar on that outside line. It is not easy to make moves up there, especially when you have
He just wants-
Ollie's leading this line.
not saving fuel. They're just full bore. Jan Van Leer is going to lose all
Yeah,
that
Jake wants them to burn their fuel.
back there.
And the green machine of Ryan Kelly, he also was caught with a black flag hold penalty. He is just getting caught as the 3 not fighting.
Ryan behind Chuck come down.
Extremely high
From
on
me.
the
Just
outside.
watching left.
And at this point, for
That 10 car, 4 cars ahead of you is the lucky dog.
down as Jan Van Leer, where
I
he's running
believe.
right now. Get that lucky dog spot
Okay.
with caution.
I think Ollie's up there in front of him.
Yeah, he's got to
Something.
not be a part of any
Yeah,
accident.
Ollie's a
that'll
lap
happen,
down,
but
so I think
driver-
he might have had pit again,
And it's
and he might
likely
just
not
be
going to
trying to
happen.
push everyone's pace on fuel.
I mean, it's definitely going to happen right now. It
Yeah.
can happen later.
He's
in the
on lead
race,
lap
I'd say
now.
with about
So if caution
20
comes out, it won't
to go.
matter for him.
That's when they're going to start making their move, try to move back forward. I mean, the biggest question
Check
I've
up.
got though really is for Gavin Rogers and wow. Name's slipping my mind here. Ben Keeney, you know, they hit in a lap or two earlier from everybody else, so they've got to definitely save a lot more, so they're not going to make any moves anytime soon.
Yeah, get in line and just survive. Another driver who missed out when heading
Yeah,
into
just
pit
lit up.
road as Cody Reed is bored, and he's make things interesting here. That 20 leading this race technically. And still bobbing and weaving and understanding he did not hit the number that was necessary for each one stop. He will have to hit at some point. But for Cody, he's just using up every part of the track, every part of his fuel, and enjoying right in behind Ollie Fonseca. But away up 15th position, that's Brian P. Johnson. He was a part of the final group that went into pit road. The 25, though, did not get a good exit out of his pit stall. Missed out being connected with the lead pack, and currently all on his lonesome 15 seconds behind where the leader is. This is a heartbreaking spot for Brian P. Johnson, who needs a caution if he wants an opportunity to win and get into the chase, as he's one of those 3 drivers.
Yeah, Brian, one of the 3 drivers trying to do the must-win situation. He has got to hope for something to happen. It's unfortunate to see, you know, another one of the drivers trying to get in, you know, on a win, just falling far behind. I mean, you still have the 00 Brian Noel and Ben Keeney up in this front group, so they still have a very good chance. But I mean, Brian P. Johnson, it is out of his hands now, and he has got to hope that
They've got our gas line.
Yeah, and looking at this, I mean, you look at all the scenarios that are ahead of us. I would say the 00 Brian Noel is
I
the
think I'm
favorite
about
of those
two
three
too good right
drivers.
now.
Ben Keeney, Brian Noel, as well
I'll go to the
as
front.
Brian P. Johnson. Those are the three that are, if they win, would bounce the 10 of Jan Van Leer out of the playoffs, a chance to run for the championship.
Right, and we're not going to catch Cody.
Here's for the Lucky Duck Motorsports drivers, if they're, I mean, they're all in a voice channel call right now. If they're discussing, okay, well, I know I'm good on fuel, do we just audible and make sure that we get the 00 in? Or are we trying to still save fuel and let the best driver win at the end of the
These
day?
guys, screw it.
Curious notion to see is talking about that 00. It'll get connected with another Lucky Duck Motorsports driver as the 31 of Thomas Green now on a takeoff and go motion on the outside, no longer waiting in line. It's the 31 00 and now trying to tag along with the 3 of Ryan Kelly, but a little late to get attached to that train as they're trying to catch up to the top drivers. That's going to be Cody Reed, John Forbes, as well as Ollie Fonseca and Jan Van Leer. 4 drivers are pulled away from the rest of the field, and they're trying to make a statement right now.
They're trying to make a statement. John Forbes up there challenging and passing Cody Reed, but they are both using lap cars to pull away from everybody else. And that's forcing everybody's hands right now. They have got to pick up their speed. The Lucky Ducks, that looks like the decision was made. They're going to get Brian Noel up to the front. They have got to get their speed going up. But these 4 up front, they're side by side. If these guys in the back can line up and get hooked up, they can easily catch these guys, but they have got to get their speed up and moving. They can't be saving fuel right now.
No, not at all. And again, the point for Cody Reed, he needs to have a big enough gap where he can head into pit road, top off on fuel, and have a big enough gap to where if he pits, he can still be a driver that has enough time to get up to speed and maybe catch up to the lead pack, or might have a big enough gap lead where he pulls out and still is leading this race for the 25. But John Forbes trying to change that factor, because looking at when drivers went into pit road, the 7, I mean, he pitted with the group of drivers that are good on fuel, that maybe they have to save a half a tank, maybe just a lap, and he can go aggressive for a lot of this run. Doesn't have to think about saving fuel until maybe halfway through this run, which isn't for another about 10 to 15 laps. So John Forbes is in a very optimal position where he is currently.
Yeah, he's not in the greatest position because he knows Cody Reed is going to have to pit well before
Lap to the good now.
Cody Reed will not make the rest of this race on fuel. You know, in theory, is what we're
I'm presuming Forbes and Cody can make it.
Some left front damage on Jan Van Leer's car. I'm very intrigued on what happened there. But
Hit
he
the
had
wall
to
and went into the place.
Oh, that's okay. That's what happened.
2 laps to good.
I was like, because he's got some heavy damage on that left front that I did not see earlier. So,
yeah, went into the pits a little bit too heavy, got himself caught speeding, then
Having the gallons you got at the line.
inside into the pit wall, and
I'll let you know.
finally got lined up to go. And luckily is nearby where Ollie Fonseca is. I think that's the biggest thing for the 10. At least he's close to the leader. Caution comes out of those drivers in that second pack currently. Try to get going.
13.5 at the line.
Catch up to these leaders and accidentally bring up motion. I mean, Ollie Fonseca.
1.4 laps to the good.
What do you say, $5 or $1?
Lear and Jan Van Leer would get the Lucky Dog spots. This is a very optimal position for a lot of the top, these 4 drivers that are ahead. This group currently that we're watching, this is the lead group of drivers.
I mean, in the old car that we had,
I feel bad for the 3 machine of Brian Kelly. He was hoping to get into victory lane for the best momentum heading into the chase, but he currently just is in a spot where when do we finally get to go 100% save our fuel?
yeah, I mean, they're just the smart thing. It looks like they were going to try to catch up to John Forbes. But, I mean, they all know Forbes is going to be left out all by his lonesome at some point in time because those guys will have to pit to get fuel well before anybody else. And I don't think Forbes and Jan Van Leer will be able to pull away from the rest of the field by themselves. So I mean, that's still a massive gap, a good 7, almost 8-second gap from
If they get
John
far enough
Forbes
ahead, I
to
wonder if they can
Larry
actually
Yingling
catch
back
us
in the third
later.
position.
Yeah, each lap is about a second.
I don't know about
Continues
that.
to grow. Cody Reed.
They'd have to do a whole lap, wouldn't they?
The gap out, and for Cody,
Yeah, but they're
he
already
needs to make
going to
sure
be
that
9
this
seconds
lap,
ahead
when
by the
he
time we hit the
enters
line,
pit
pretty
road,
much.
is up to maybe 30 seconds. He needs
maybe.
a
What do you think it takes to get down pit road?
monumental lead to just blossom up in the next.
All they need is a splash. They
5,
ain't taking
10,
4 once they're
15
done.
laps.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's like 30, 20, 30 seconds to drive down pit road, an extra 5 seconds for fuel, it's like 35 seconds. I mean, they can easily pull that out.
It's going to work out because the gap is not building as quick as the 25 would hope for himself. And like Cody's dad, Lenny, out in the chat, he said this after seeing what happened to Cody and all.
Well, with everybody saving fuel, the chances of caution real low.
But this is the WSSR Cup Series. Richard, a caution is not an absolute that's going to happen each and every week.
Right,
No, it's
strategically.
definitely not. These guys
got a
definitely
penalty
know
so he
how
can
to keep
help us
these
out save
cars.
fuel.
They're very well controlled. And
Yep.
I mean, when you're driving in a single file line at a super speedway, I mean, the odds of a caution coming out just drops drastically with these guys. So, I mean, I'm not expecting this to see.
You go in the grass, Ryan?
Probably lap 70 or later, if any of that. So
I think I just hit the
mean,
cone.
It's going to be a
Not right.
a horseshoe's chance for a caution.
I entered right to the left of the cone
They're
and
still
put
in line.
at least 2 tires in the grass and somehow didn't get a penalty.
Major safe mode. I'm shocked to see how much safety is actually going on.
Yeah, last time we were here,
with this second
like 2 of us
group, that
were
last
all 4
lap
tires in
was
the
a
grass and didn't get a
50
penalty.
flat. That's the fastest.
I guess as long as you
time
make the cone, it doesn't matter.
The drivers that were in the second group that we see on screen. Compared to Cody Reed, Ali Fonseca, Forbes, and Jan, they're going 48 seconds, 48 times. Just the 4 of them flying around this track.
Yeah, they are just booking it up front. They are not letting up ever at all. These guys in the back, I mean, they have got to, like, I don't know if it's Ryan Kelly or Larry Yingling. I'm sorry, Larry Yingling trying to save as much fuel as he possibly
1.4
can.
seconds a lap
If he's the
faster.
one controlling this. That's just going to be Ryan Kelly, the number 3 machine that's kind of leading this group here. So, down, but he's leading this group trying to save the fuel. But it's very interesting that they're just not going very fast still.
Well, here's the. This is the front pack. John Forbes is the last driver on the lead lap in this front group, compared to Larry Yingling, driver in line in the second pack. They've got drivers that are a lap down or trying to stay on the lead lap that are leading these packs, but 12 and a half seconds.
Yeah, if they can get 40, 45 seconds on us, they might have a chance.
Blossom up about 4 laps ago. They've gained about 3 to 4 seconds now. This is exactly what you need to see. But you have to stay in line. Jan Van Leer has been kind of hurting this 4-man group. He gets out of line and kind of is building up a parachute as they're closing in on going to be the 28 of Brian P. Johnson. This could be a 5-driver group if they really start motoring forward.
Yeah, it's going to be a 5-driver group here, but I mean, even Reed being only 1 car behind the
they
second car in this line right now,
Are
that doesn't
1.4
save
seconds
as
a
much
lap
fuel as if
faster
you're
for the
3 or
next
4
20
cars
laps,
back.
so
I mean, Cody Reed's doing. I mean, they're definitely not fuel.
They'll have
saving
about
at all
41.7
how fast they're
seconds
going.
on us.
So, I mean, I'm not sure what the overall plan is.
might give them enough
John
time just for a
Forbes.
splash.
It's interesting to see him up here running this fast.
I mean, for Forbes, like I said,
Are you wide open, Ryan?
on fuel, even if they maximize at this speed. John Forbes, I mean, if they build a big enough
Yeah, I'll
gap,
probably be a couple
even
laps
by
short.
himself, he might not get caught by that second
I'll
group.
push you on the back
seven,
straight.
he's in a prime opportunity. Brian P. Johnson, though, if he can get in line, if they can capture the 27 and they're not able to, they're just driving too fast. Jan Van Leer's not even able to get in line. This is killing all the momentum that they were building up, and they're trying to pull back the 27 as best as possible. I think he's starting to lose the draft. I don't think he's close enough. He's still within that second window. It's about 7/10 the difference. And getting up to speed, it's Johnson. He has latched on. So it will be a 5-car group that we'll have for this lead pack. And this is perfect for Cody Reed as well for John Forbes, because if they hit markers of a 48 flat or just a lower 48
Or
second
6 tenths
lap time,
faster now.
they can really help this 25 on just the splash and go and maybe be close to the lead pack still in this race.
Yeah,
I will not be able to keep up
see,
this
I
pace,
think
though.
if anything is going to help
I'm
out
less than
John
half lap to the
Forbes
good
the
now.
most, this will give John Forbes another car he can get behind him, draft off of, and try to make this gap extend even more. Because Forbes, I mean, it's a very good possibility that he still might be able to make it on
second
fuel
lane coming up.
over the rest of the field. Because even if he's out there by himself or even has a draft or two, I mean, he could easily walk away and have a walk-off with somebody.
Looking at the lap times, that second pack starting to pick up a little bit more speed. That was a 49.4 and with 49.3 for those drivers. That last go around at 48.8 as they were
Probably
trying to pick
thinking
up.
they're good, but they're going to let that fuel go down real quick.
And how much of this gap grows or shrinks, and currently it is shrinking.
Pushing right now, 1 lap.
They
Went from like 1.6, 1.7 to the good to
see how much
0.8
it
to the
really
good.
starts to expand or shrink, but I'm not seeing enough closure of these 5 drivers. They're not in unison as you would
1.3.
like. And Thomas Green and the Lucky Duck Motorsports drivers are now leading that second pack.
I'm at 7.2.
And they have been given the green light. It's time to close in.
I've been flat since I left pit road.
Battle to the metal, stop saving fuel. It's time to close that gap and catch those guys in front. The win
gave you my
is
car
in
with the fuel.
sight as they are closing in on 20 laps to go for this
Wasted it,
field.
sorry.
But they have still got a 14.5 second.
There's a few extra things in that car I'll be using next year.
If they want a chance to win this race, depending on what the fuel situation looks for those guys up there.
If you're looking at Motorsports, they've got 2 different scenarios. You've got in this second pack, it's
They're only
second and
15
one.
seconds ahead of us now. They're probably saving.
He makes it
at least
into
a
the
little
chase
bit.
and would knock out the 10 of Jan
Yeah,
Van
we're-
Leer. Also, you've got
At the same time,
in the back
we're just
of
now
this
faster in the pack. So we start speeding up.
of Ben Keeney, who's had his ups and
Who's leading his
downs.
pack?
A couple of slides here tonight.
Thomas Green, Brian Noel, who's having
currently back there with Gavin Rogers.
episode in second, and Nico's third. That's top 3.
Only call for the one in the 98. They still were trying to save fuel. They needed to save about a lap extra than everybody else. We'll see if this extra speed that they
Yeah, we're
ran
faster
to
now.
is going to hurt the one in the 98. But if you're the 00 Brian Noel, you are in a perfect scenario because you've stalled out John Forbes and Cody Reed. You've gained time on them, and you continue to gain time each and every second on the track as we're on lap 69.
Yeah, they're not catching extremely fast either. I mean, the thing that they're going to hope for is when the driver's that's going to need to pit to get fuel peel off, that Forbes loses all his momentum. But I mean, they have got a huge gap to close still, and this is just not closing very fast. But they're doing the right thing. They're all staying in line still. They're not trying to fight for positions right now because, I mean, the only drivers that really need to fight for any kind of position will be Brian Noel or Ben Keeney. But the problem is they need to get to the front to really make it matter because they have to get a win.
Yeah, and this is kind of that weird polarizing spot that you're in. If you're Cody Reed and Ollie Fonseca, is you're in a spot where you're keeping Ollie on the lead lap. But if you're thinking about Cody Reed and trying to stay in the fight for this race, you might need to just pit now. Stop the bleeding that's happening. You're losing all that time that you had just built up. Pit now, see what you can salvage. Once this lead pack gets side by side and gets a little bit more racy and maybe loses a little bit of this tempo that they're building, staying in line in that second pack. But each lap that they stay out, the more and more of trying to close in kind of falls away.
8.6 to the line.
I'm just looking at the times, looking at how much fuel is being saved.
So I'm 2.2 to
This
the
is a
good.
lost cause for Cody Reed. If you're John,
So you're probably like a lap and a half to
Reed,
good
Ollie Fonseca,
this
pace.
and also this 10 and the 28 to stay out there on track until they run out of fuel, and do not pit early. Otherwise, John Forbes is a sitting duck by himself.
Yeah, John Forbes will be a sitting duck by himself, but I mean, even with the bleeding that is going on with the gap, I just even if they pit, when the bleeding before the bleeding started, I just don't think they'd be able to get back up to this pack. Because
I just noticed, right? How do I always get behind you in these play races?
65 mile an hour
half a
on
race.
this road. These guys are going 180, 190, almost 200 mile an hour. You're going to lose way too much ground on pit road, even if you're in there for 2 or 3 seconds for a quick splash and go.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said I think they needed about a 30-second to a 35-second gap to even have a chance at a splash and go, working out in their favor. It only got up to about 15.5 seconds before the gap started dwindling down. It's now down to
I think it almost would have been quicker to just make it a two-stopper at this point.
It's time to race this out side by side, and it's currently going to be the beginning machine of
Probably,
on the outside, getting with Zach Paul, Brian McCann, Chuck Sweeting, and then on the inside group, it's Lucky Duck Motorsports going to be 3 drivers deep of Thomas Green, Brian Noel, and Jake Nichols. Trying to find.
I think most of the first run, everyone was going hard. It was just that last slow part. They figured it out.
Get in line, and it's time. Ben Keeney in the 98. He's moving to the outside, and that's. Ben feels like he's full of fuel, and he can finally start racing up front.
Yeah,
we're about to be last of the pack here.
On the inside, work to the outside, and move forward. That's the green light. That's the knowledge of, hey, we're good on fuel. Let's get moving. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to follow this outside line, get in front of Brian Noel. That's going to give him his best opportunity to try to make a move up to the front. Downside, he doesn't really have teammates up in that outside line with him. So Tarrant Talmadge is making a move to the outside to try and help him out maybe, but they are following Chuck Sweeting. Chuck has got to get some speed up, but Talmadge not going to help Keeney in that line. He's going to move to the outside with Gavin Rogers to try to get around Sweeting and Keeney.
As there they go on that third row, 3.
The bottom line is the losing line, but I figure these guys might wreck, so this is also the safer line.
Outside is Jarrett Talmadge and Gavin Rogers, and Jarrett Talmadge, can he find a way?
We'll just get shuffled back and have to do it again.
Yeah, you can.
Season finale races
helps Stitch not burn as much.
Did it back in season 10 at Daytona 08. Last season it was here at Talladega. Good to not.
Thank you, Ryan.
Talladega win for the 27. He's just been on a roll when it comes to the race. He's always up front. And right now, he's got one of the best drivers to follow in suit of Gavin Rogers. And then the best driver of the season of Jake Nichols right behind him.
Should channel Maynard Stovall and just go for the lefter or someone.
You could have the next strongest.
That'll save us from doing this.
Interesting how you bring that up behind me.
Well, I was just kind of staring at it, and it looks kind of good.
Well, Zach Paul's been fun
I just want to touch it
recently. And Brian McCann back
that outside line is where you want to be at the end of the race.
Music drivers, that team has been strong, but all the movement, it's now just seeing opportunities on the line with 16 laps to go. But
somehow
again,
we're barely slowed in the front group. Well, I think they're screwed.
John Forbes yet to hit pit road as their gap is stalled out to 14 seconds.
Sweeting is going to go to the outside. He's going to let them go around. Ryan Noel's not going to help Ben Keeney back here. I mean, they're jostling for position. Ben Keeney is stuck on the outside all by himself with Jake Nichols behind him.
Still
Maybe
2.2
Jake
to
can
the
give him
good.
a nice little shove, get him back moving forward, but it just looks like Ben Keeney is not comfortable. He keeps slipping, sliding all over the place, not really steady.
There's a shot for us to get up to the top lane. Not now, but like when it gets close to go time, I say we take it because Ryan and I have made so much ground just riding that top with 3 cars.
It's not taking the same rhythm as everyone else. It can really make smooth the driver that's following. And there's so much more mental work of, okay, I would usually run here, maybe I need to run a little bit higher, and then Ben Keeney runs.
You pretty good on fuel mechanic.
Oh yeah, I can go wide open.
It is a weaving action you do not want to be a part of.
You got to be smooth also. Like every little movement you have in the steering wheel shaves off speed, even in the draft or when you're being pushed. So he's doing a good job right now. He's got his help from the teammate, Jake Nichols right behind him. And you got the number 31 of Thomas Green right behind him as well. Those are some really fast drivers behind Keeney trying to push him up front. These guys still close that gap. It is only down to 13.8 seconds. They haven't closed that gap a huge amount yet. But Ben Keeney just looks like he's not getting the momentum off the turns. I feel like he's just going too high, and the momentum just gets shunted, and the inside line just able to keep up with the with him.
I mean, Lucky Duck Motorsports is in such a tough spot right here. You got 4 drivers that are on the lead lap that's in this pack. Half of this group that we see on screen are from Lucky Duck Motorsports. It's a harder decision to make on top of that of
well, luckily for you, Stitch, the 10 cars left down.
Who's going to be moved up to lead this.
You got Kenny leading with 3 or 4 of
Another
his
driver
teammates.
he wants to be leading up there is the 00 Brian Noel. Both drivers are having a chance to take the wild card position, 16th in points if they win here.
Only thing we're doing here is just rotating around. Outside line passes the inside line.
Fate is in the hands of those drivers.
It's really about timing and
one lap down,
hooking up with a teammate or somebody that can push real
Van
good.
Leer, it's kind of, I mean, it's a tough position to be in where you're in a position.
So how long does it take to get to the front? I think one car can drop down about a lap.
3 guys that are racing.
There's 2 cars in one lap.
Don't
Yeah,
get that
so a
win.
lap and a half to the good.
You hate when something is not in your control, but that is exactly what's going on with Jan Van Leer tonight. He has got to hope that these guys don't get up there and challenge for that first place.
As Lucky Duck Motorsports all get in line. The one driver they're missing is John Forbes from that team. And where is he? 12.8 seconds ahead with Cody Reed. This is where the actual leaders of the race run. The 25 second in line, the 7 of John Forbes. This is first and second of the race. The only problem, Cody Reed in the 25, the 24 of Ali Fonseca. They are currently
we're good to go this point.
6 laps shy from making it to the end of this race. Even if they were fuel saving,
Make sure you be aware that Kenny
let's go
car.
as fast as we can after leaving pit road. So they have to pit here in the next about 4 to 5 laps, if not sooner, which is now going to leave John Forbes in the 7 all on his lonesome. We might see the 10 of Jan Van Leer stay out, the 23
might get a
third line.
stay out.
Good.
3 drivers that can work with the 7.
These tires are kind of shot. Are y'all feeling that?
Will they work with the 7?
Yeah.
One go ahead into pit road.
Especially in 3 to win this 8 mile an hour,
He's in a very
pushing us up in 3.
situation because he knows the majority of the guys around him are going to have to pit for fuel. So, I mean, he's hoping that gap between him and the guys behind him are big.
Yeah, if we're on the top lane going into 3, just careful. It's going to want to suck you right into that wall.
That's going to happen. I mean,
It did it to me. Almost did it to me once.
If anybody's going to stay out with John Forbes, it'll probably be Brian P. Johnson, but he's a little too far back. And I don't think Jan Van Leer is going to be much help either with the draft. So, I mean, John Forbes is just not in the best positions to try and win this race. But we'll have to see as we get ready to, see what these 2 cars in front and what they do.
When will they decide to hit pit road? We're expecting here in the next 4 to 5 laps. But at least the top 2 are pitting. Who will join them will be the big question. It was 12 seconds, a big enough gap for John. Back the second group that is now being led by Zach Hall and Cedric Hunter that have been able to make the pass on the outside.
Those 2 up front are teammates, so I think they're just going to hold the line.
Drivers of Brian McCann, Larry Yingling, as well as Chris Stitz. They were hoping to get a clean runway on the outside to take the lead.
Well, I'm in control now, and this pink car ain't passing the bottom line.
Esports leading the inside out. 2 as they're waiting for the leaders to make their way into pit road. Cody Reed, Ali Fonseca, they pitted with 42 laps into this race, which means they would be pitting here in the next 2 laps. Or can they stretch the fuel? Or that's going to be the big thing, and will to save Cody Reed and John Forbes.
Yeah, it's the biggest question right now is will the caution come out in this group back here? And Zach Hall and Cedric Hunter, they're doing the best they can. Their teammates, leading both of these lines. The downside is they have no teammates really behind them. It's 2 separate teams that they are leading. So if one of those teams decides to make a move, I mean, they're kind of a sitting duck.
I'll try to kill you.
So it's a matter of a waiting.
And Larry, when the time's right, me and you can jump out 3rd lane.
Zach Hall and Cedric Hunter can do a really good job.
Yeah, don't worry, I got Stitz behind me also.
Keep control.
Right on me.
Tonight has already shown some highlights.
So I'm just going to keep Cedric and Zach side by side.
Some of those moments and show them off at home with your own trophies. We'll head on over to Trophy Smack at TrophySmack.com. Go check out their wide variety of championship trophies.
How quickly does this car
and their
heat up?
The wall smack
Very.
metal plate. You put your own metal, your own custom image on that metal plate.
I think I was
As they've
behind
got
Ryan
the
pushing him for
wall
3 laps.
mounting
I was
system with a magnet,
about to blow.
or you can get a stand, place it on your shelf or desk. Go check out Wall Smack from
I was letting off
TrophySmack.com
mid-corner, giving a gap.
website. Code WSSR Smack at checkout for 10% off. Again, that's TrophySmack.com. Go check out your high and low moments and celebrate them with with your Trophy Smack. We also want to say thank you to Sim Precision Prints. You got to be our last sponsor to say thank you to. Head on over to simprecisionprints.shop. Remember to use promo code WSSR at checkout to get 10% off on all orders $50 or more, as Sim Precision Prints is your one place to go if you're wanting to find some 3D printed one-of-a-kind pieces or specially made iRacing or just racing gear in general. Again, that's simprecisionprints.shop. Sim Precision Prints, precision prints, performance delivered. Thank you so much to all the amazing sponsors that have partnered up with the WSSR Cup Series for Season 12. From Elwood Designs to Lucky Duck Motorsports, GTR Simulators, to Sim Precision Prints, and as well Trophy Smack. We appreciate all that you've done for WSSR Cup Series, as it is time for the decision.
I think the 31 wants to get in front of Cedric.
It's the next lap, and it's now.
Yeah.
It's Ollie Fonseca.
I'm trying to prevent that.
Leaving us with 3 drivers. It's John Forbes with the lap-down crew. Cody Reed throws away this race completely now. Fonseca grabs his second black flag, a penalty for entering pit road too fast, and it's all over for those drivers of Ollie Fonseca and Cody Reed. It's down to John Forbes.
Should we
Will the
pull out
cars work
2 to go?
Does he have the fuel in his 10.5 seconds? A big enough gap.
Yeah.
With 4.5
like
laps
that.
to go.
This could work.
Cedric might block me.
For John Forbes, we'll have to see if he can save enough gas, or he has been. I mean, he's got 40 laps currently in the run. He's still got 5 laps to go, so it's going to be cutting it close. But I think John Forbes might actually
Oh, he made it.
pull
Dang it.
this off with the strategy that he played.
It's the run. It's the chase down. Did you
Chance Forbes
save
can make
enough, or is the pack gonna catch you? As it's down to 9.6 seconds, the difference between John Forbes and the second pack. Really, Jan Van Leer, he has just got a lead. The problem for John Forbes is he put the damaged car in front. He has to.
Tight.
Brian P. Johnson would be more the optimal driver to have leading this group. But you put the damaged car leading this 3-man crew. The 28 not trying to help at all. He's backed off so much. There's nothing. It's just 2 drivers, and the gap somehow is still 9 seconds the difference between first and second.
Yeah, still a massive gap for John Forbes, but yeah, his time is being completely destroyed with the damaged car, the number 10 time machine of Jan Van Leer.
A couple laps to go.
Catching a car up there that's looks like coming out of the pits. That'll be Cody Reed, so that might be able to be a saving grace for John Forbes.
Maybe we take it.
I mean,
I don't know.
it's going to be interesting to see if John Forbes has enough fuel to make it to the end here, but he's doing everything he can to stay in the draft and not leave this group so he can save every little
The way
bit.
Forbes is going to make it, he's saving it heavy.
Forbes, his one win this season was Darlington, back at right before
All right,
he
we're
went
back
over
to
to
the
2026.
We're gonna pull out here, Larry?
Here, he's hoping to grab win number 2 right before the chase, as he is currently getting the help now from
Yeah, we go
Cody
now. We got
Reed.
numbers.
Reed pushing Jan Van Leer.
You say now?
Pushing the 10,
Yeah.
staying on the lead lap, and John Forbes hoping to cruise into victory lane with all the help. 2 laps to go. The difference, 7.5 seconds. Lap. It was only a second and a half, a little bit less than a second and a half, and they're now 3 wide battling for positions back in the second pack. They're realizing we're scrapping for second, not the win. We may not even catch John Forbes.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to catch John Forbes unless something happens with him or up front. I mean, unless a caution happens here.
Someone blew up. They're wrecking. Oh, my God.
Gavin got a little loose.
Oh, right.
He's going to give a little push.
I'm dead.
Cedric. Oh, there's his man. Brian Noel is up.
He's out happy.
Oh,
It
Damn.
is out, and Forbes win. Throw away. Noel is damaged. And just like that, the driver that was hoping to be a part of the win system might be completely taken out. Too much damage for himself. Too much damage for the 3. And John Forbes' 7-second gap now completely disappeared.
And the accident comes with just about the white flag to fall. A bad push onto the double zero behind Noel. Sends his car reading to the outside wall, hitting Brian Kelly, the number 3 machine. Also, unfortunate for these drivers right here. Just a checkup from Brian Noel. The 73 machine is getting to the rear end. And then Brian Noel is just kind of along the ride up into Ryan Kelly. Ryan Kelly nowhere to go.
And look at the drivers everywhere. They're running Cody Reed as well as Jan Van Listen, they were ahead of John for the time of the caution being thrown. Both will stay on the lead lap, and Brian P. Johnson will grab the lucky dog position. He will take the wave around, get back on the lead lap. And this now puts at least now 2 of the 3 drivers that were in a chance to win and have another opportunity.
I'm sure there's at least one
going to be the driver starting in 11th. Brian B. Johnson gets all the way in the back, and this will be the fifth time at Talladega. Overtime. And John Forbes doesn't have the fuel for overtime. He has to head into pit road. The question is, I don't think anyone has the fuel. Everyone is heading to pit road to top off.
Everybody coming into pit road because, I mean, here's what they're expecting. It is down to a green-white checker situation, and the field is going to be bunched up again. It is a very good possibility that we see more green-white checkered finishes. So they've got to get fuel. There's no way they can go more than 1 green-white checkered. So a quick splash and go for John Forbes. He's going to be out in the gray. We'll see what other drivers and how they come out the field to line up for this restart.
They take 4 tires, Barnes?
Can confirm that Brian Noel is out of this race. Too much damage. He still has to acquire damage flag and is 2 laps down. Even if he was able to get the cautions that were needed, he would still be a lap down.
Now, 10 car is
needed for him to make it into the chase here for season 12.
on the lead lap, so if he wrecks Stetson, he
finishes
4
really
drivers
good. With a chance for 1 spot.
And a new leader
3.
or winner.
Jan Van Leer in the 10 machine.
He'll be close.
His fate, if he wins, he is an absolute lock for the chase. The only way that the 10 does not make it into the chase is if we see either Ben Keeney or Brian.
I think I have 11
Johnson
points on him.
Get into victory lane. Those are the 2 drivers that if they win, they are eligible.
Yeah, but if he reckons he finishes 14th and he finishes like 2nd or 3rd.
Points.
Well, that's okay because I'm in 15th.
Here for our first attempt.
Yeah, but Ben Kinney or
green-white checkered. It'll be a 2 laps to go when we go green.
Oh man, I'll be on the bottom lane.
After that first lap, we will then head into.
I think Chuck's sweeting. I don't know.
This race is official, and it's all
any
about
kind of hole
Russell
opens up, and we have to move
take
up.
The victory. Richard, this has been a
ain't gonna happen,
strategy for over
I'm in a bad spot here.
laps. But coming up to the white flag is when everything breaks loose. Our first caution is thrown of the evening, and it's changed.
Yeah, I guess just Ben Kinney because
everything has changed. It's up on its head. Strategy is out.
Brian P. Johnson
now
too.
If he's heavier foot,
able to continue, I think he was in that race.
Speeds, so they could stay up front. Interesting.
There's no way Brian's denying the playoffs already.
Though. Looks like he's going to try
Brian P. Johnson, he's 22nd.
Yeah, he missed a lot.
A few more drivers pulling off, trying to get some extra top-off fuel. That'd be Cedric Hunter and Zach Hall.
You're outside.
So interesting move by themselves, but
maybe I want inside.
Getting ready to go double.
You can have it if you want.
Side by side.
I'd rather be outside.
Last lap of caution.
Kidding me?
They take the green flag for the.
We got Lucky Ducks front row, Yin Yang second row.
Trying to get that as we get the 1 to go. For the drivers, Ollie Fonseca will still stay 1 lap down instead of being 2 laps down for the 24. And now he'll be banking on there being a second caution so he can get back on the lead line.
Ironically, excluding Ryan is the
one
same top 4 from Daytona.
Ryan Kelly, Brian Noel, both out of this race.
Yeah, I don't even think I saw the top 10 that race, so this is
drivers show up here tonight. 16 are still running. 15 are on the lead lap. John Forbes, who thought he was about to taste victory, has 14 hungry wolves behind him, and this will be the most aggressive we've seen the whole field all night long. This is time.
John's saving fuel.
Final thoughts?
Why is John having to save fuel?
Ourselves ready for our first overtime attempt.
I'm just saying,
He's
the
clutching
amount
right now.
of Lucky Duck Motorsports drivers up front with Ben Keeney sitting in the 10th position, they have an opportunity to get him into the playoffs. The question is,
sure he's saving, or
are
maybe
they going to try
grabbing
and
it
help
to
him do
burn
that,
fuel.
or are they all going to try and go for the win themselves? It's very interesting to hear see what they do. But Ben Keeney is not in a terrible
came out like 2-3
position
seconds
trying to
ahead
take
of
this
everyone,
win.
didn't he?
Absolutely not. As we have seen, the last time that
No, yeah, he didn't.
this track, this car combo,
He still doesn't pit?
it was identical times coming across.
Oh, I'm probably talking about like green flag conditions.
And Cody Reed took the victory that day. Here tonight,
we didn't pit him to that last yellow.
Spectacular finish.
Yeah, you did.
Will it just be one driver stepping away from everybody else? I got a feeling we're going to see some 3 wide. Will we see 4 wide action? Who's willing to risk it all? And do we need a second overtime attempt? This is our first time here for overtime for this race here at Talladega. Here we go.
I missed it by a little bit.
Last race of the regular season. Who will be the 16 drivers with a chance for a championship? Let's find out. John Forbes, Jared Tallmadge going to be the lead drivers as we are revving it up. Your first attempt at overtime is underway. If we stay green, we race on. We need to take the white flag for this race to become official, but if we wreck and bring out a caution in lap number 1, we head to overtime attempt number 2. Richard, here we go. They're already drafting coming out of turn number 2. It's a drag race on the backstretch.
Drag race down the backstretch as we've got the green flag. They got to go to the white flag, but it looks like 30 on the screen. He's going to the outside to make it 3 wide. Chris Stitz, Gavin Rogers, they're looking at the middle lane. Chris Stitz back to the inside there, 3 wide through turn 3 there, bobbing and weaving.
Hit me, Chris.
Tail a little bit as they're on each other's bumpers. One small push can spell disaster for a lot of these drivers, but John Forbes is going to control the lanes. A huge block to the outside lane as they come to the white flag.
As they echo through the tri-oval, they come across the line. It's your Sim Precision Prince. White flag. This is it. The race is official. Who's winning? Will it be one of the drivers? It's a win in your in scenario. The 98 and the 28. They're too far back. They need a wreck to have a chance for the win. But it's currently the 7 of John Forbes going to be on the outside group. Jared Tallmadge in the middle. Brian McCann on the inside. Seeing the drivers working in line. Just to let you know, the apron, you can go under that yellow line if you want, but you better be careful getting back on the racing surface as they're 3 wide exiting out of turn number 4. It's a drag race. Who will force it forward? They continue. They're side by side. Who's getting to the line first? Is it the 7, the 27? And it's
I got 3rd. Podium.
Solidifying himself, winning here at Talladega.
Phenomenal 3 wide bit across the field as John Forbes takes the win tonight at Talladega, just over Jared.
I think John would have won anyway without that caution, so I guess it didn't change
able
much.
to make it 3 in a row of the season finale.
Yeah, I was giving all I had. I was getting pushed from behind, and I was pushing you, Brian. It's just nowhere to go on the bottom.
Everybody was touching.
He tried everything. He tried a little bit of door banging, was hoping for another push, but it just wasn't there. And John,
these cars can handle pushes
what
pretty
a
well.
sweet victory this has to be. Feeling like his win was ripped away just a straight away from the white flag. Come up to the line. They're on lap 89, but in overtime, he got
Practice
the
pin
help.
entry for
He
next
was
race.
able to get the run, and at the end, the 7 of John Forbes grabs his 2nd win of the season. And what a time to get it, as the 7 of John Forbes gets to burn it down and enjoy this one. Heartbreak looms for others as Ben Keeney, Brian Noel, Brian P. Johnson.
I don't think he made it.
Your season is
no black
done
flag.
for racing for
Nah,
a
you ain't wrecking me again.
championship. John Van Laer, you survived.
He's looking pretty good coming out of that last turn.
Will race and take that 16th spot to run in the chase. For us, though, we're not done.
They said we can
we got the post-race show. We'll be
we
back.
can still repair most of the damage. I don't think I need it repaired, guys.
Brian McCann will be back right after this for interviews and to get you ready for the chase that begins next week.
Yeah, it's just that outside line pulled a little bit through the tri-oval. Chris was doing a good job pushing. bumped me a little bit, got me sideways somewhere in here, right here. Wasn't too bad, didn't hurt too much momentum. He caught me off the corner real good. That top lane is rolling. Ooh, I just barely got third. That'd have been close. Good race, guys. See you next week.
Good race. See
Yes,
ya.
sir. See you next week.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the post-race show of the WSSR Cup Series presented by Elwood Designs. The regular season finale certainly gave us a show as it was a 3-wide finish coming to the end, and it was a drag race between the teammates on who. Ultimately, it goes to the 7 of John Forbes as we head to victory lane to see how the 7 machine is feeling. John, you had a roller coaster of feelings there late. You had the gap by over 7 seconds before a late caution threw us to overtime, but ultimately you take the win with a 3-wide finish to the end. How are you feeling after that incredible run to the end?
Understatement. I mean, I was just about to get the white flag to basically wrap that one up. I had saved the fuel, and it was just about done. And of course, we get the caution. So from that point, I'm like, I'm in this race. I just was like, oh, I feel cheated out of this one. I played the strategy perfect, got broken away from the field with the other guys that had to save more because I was able to stretch it an extra lap on the first stop. So yeah, then it came down to the end, 2 laps, and you know what they say, ball don't lie. We were able to get the victory and take some momentum into the playoffs here. It's been kind of up and down all season, honestly. So to get back to victory lane, I know it's Talladega, you know, the luck and everything, but I think I made the best call moving up to the top, and I just felt like that was going to be the spot I needed to go to win the race. So jumped up in front of Tom, and luckily we were able to connect pretty good. Nothing really happened when I transferred up there, and he was able to push me. So I got to really thank Tom for this win. But yeah, everybody lucky ducks. We had a pretty good race overall. Always nice having teammates and stuff, but I hit that point where I'm like, okay, they got to save more fuel. I'm going to try and break away because Cody and Ollie were doing the same thing that they did on the first run, which was basically just go 100%. So I'm like, okay, I already have the extra lap of fuel. So to jump behind them and yeah, really put us in position to win this one tonight.
Yeah, John, impressive work tonight. It was definitely a lot of questions of your fuel load and how you were going to make it when you were up there running with Cody Reed and Ali Fonseca. But I mean, you played it perfectly, even though the caution came out and you're still able to squeak it away. I mean, this has got to be fantastic momentum for yourself going into the next race when the playoffs start.
Yeah, it's bonus points too. So I was able to get by Vinny because he wasn't here tonight. So that's honestly just what I was looking at doing tonight, is coming out second, because it's just that 1 extra point. And I mean, I saw last year how much that 1 point would have meant for the championship. So every point matters. Every point's going to help me out. So I believe I should be second, and the playoffs is definitely going to be helpful.
Yeah, based off the amount of points you grabbed here tonight and Vinny not showing up, second is yours, John. Looking at this race here tonight, it was a wild one. I know us up at the booth, we were talking about the different scenarios. Lucky Duck Motorsports, you had 2 drivers that if they had won, they would have taken that 16th position in the playoffs. Was there ever any conversation of trying to help Noel as well as or helping Ben Keeney to get them into the playoffs, or was it kind of a good luck? You're fighting for the win here tonight. Everyone is.
Yeah, I mean, for everybody at Lucky Ducks, I mean, we play fair. But if it came to the situation where one of the guys was in front of me, like let's say it was reversed, I was in Tom's position and it was Noel or Kenny hopping up in front of me, obviously I'm not going to try and pass them. I'm going to push them like a good teammate should and help them get in the playoffs, because obviously we want to have as many cards as possible. But I think getting most of us in was pretty cool for the season. So it sucks that they had trouble with the blow motor and stuff, but yeah, they'll still be showing up every week through the new chase coming up. So yeah, good night for us overall. But yeah, we'll take this one. I don't even know where we're at next week, but Yeah, we'll just keep improving.
New
This new
Hampshire.
car is, well, not new car, but going back to the old car.
One of my favorite
is
tracks.
definitely more in my wheelhouse. I hate dealing with the dirty air and stuff like that. So to have more of just a clean kind of slate to go racing with every week, it's a lot more fun.
Well, to start the chase off, we are heading to New Hampshire next week, John. I know for us at Bluetooth, we're excited to see how this vehicle is going to handle that track with the team during the chase. But before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any other shout-outs.
Yeah, I think John Peel, everybody at Lucky Ducks. I mean, we just have a great team this season, so I'm excited to go into the playoffs and hopefully have something to compete for the wins every week. I think Jake Nichols wins this season, so I got to get on a roll here. I know we're at 2, so I think that puts me second in the wins column. So I got to claw that number back on Jake a little bit. So yeah, I got to thank Americares, Call Chassis, everybody on board that's here with Lucky Duck. I got to thank you guys for putting the broadcast on and everybody, all friends and family watching at home.
Well, thank you for giving us such a great show to call there at the end, John. Congratulations on your second win of the season. Enjoy it, and good luck next week in New Hampshire.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
As that will be John Forbes in the 7 Machine, your Season 10 champion. Can he go for his second championship in the WSSR Cup Series? Well, that journey starts next week as one driver continues on his ways of showing consistency. He comes away second. We got Talmadge and Jarrett. Super speedways, man, in the WSSR, you are always there at the end, and once again, right there, just a little bit over 1/100th of a second. You come away shy from victory lane, but how are you feeling coming away second here tonight after the up and down roller coaster of saving fuel and not saving fuel here tonight?
I mean, I'm pretty excited to come away with second, considering how it was looking coming to the white there with about less than half a straightaway, I guess. Whenever the caution came out there, we were sitting like 12th or something. So, I mean, to come away P2 and be, like you said, 11,000th off is, I mean, that's pretty good. It's good momentum rolling into the playoffs, finishing second there. I'm just glad we got our Wednesday night freeway ride over.
Yeah, fantastic finish between you and John Forbes, Jarrett. And I mean, last season you won this race specifically to get yourself into the playoffs. This season, you didn't have to do that, but you could have. You had an opportunity to go 3 in a row for the season finale. Did you even realize that was an opportunity or possibility?
No, I didn't. I didn't know that. Maybe if I did, I would have walled John then to make sure I got it. But no, even if I knew that, I wouldn't really be thinking about it anyways. I mean, the goal is always going to be to win. I think I ended up 4th in points. I think Brian McCann just pipped me there. So still good finish points. I think I'm the only person in the top 5 without a win this season. So we definitely got to fix that account and, get a couple wins here in the end and hopefully contend for a title with it. I know we're going to be behind in the bonus points department with only 3, but there's a lot of races left and a lot of opportunities.
Next week, it is the start of the chase. It's New Hampshire. We look at the stats entering into this chase. You are part of the top 4 drivers to watch out for when it comes to top 10 finishes and top 5 finishes. What does that momentum feel like for yourself? I know you don't have the win yet. We know that's looming and going to be there here anytime really for this season, but what confidence are you rolling into the chase with, knowing that you are one of the top 4 drivers based off of the stats?
I mean, it's a lot of confidence, obviously, because you got Jake. You know what he does on everything. He's really good. John's good. Brian's good. Vinny, they're all good there. Larry. So to be up there with those guys and competing with them for stats wise and on speed weekend we got is good. Like you said, I haven't got the win yet, which kind of makes it a little bit frustrating. But sometimes waiting for the wins comes at the right time. So hopefully we can tick off a couple of them at the right time and roll on to the championship, like I said. But I got a lot of confidence going into the playoffs.
Well, Jared, it was a fantastic run for yourself here tonight, coming away second. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any other shout outs.
Yeah, like shout out Jean Pierre, all my teammates on Lucky Ducks. Like we had a 1-2 there, almost got 1-3. I think Tom got 4th. We all had a pretty good race there. I'd like to shout out to the Stand Up to Cancer org on the car and No Kid Hungry. Shout out you guys put on the broadcast and everybody who runs the league.
Well, that'll be the 27 machine of Jared Thomas. Jared, congratulations on second. It also looks like you will take fourth in points after this race is over. So congratulations on that, and good luck next week at the start of the Brian McCann finishes third here tonight, and also will be third in points after this evening is over. Brian, 3 wide, coming to the end of this thing. What were you feeling as you were coming to the end of this race, knowing that you had a slim chance to try and take the win?
Yeah, it was a pretty good finish there. First half of the race was a little boring with the single file, everybody trying to save fuel. So I was glad we got to really race there at the end. And we took 2 tires on that last pit stop and came out in third, but I was a little let down being on that inside line because I knew that outside line was where you wanted to be at. But still 3 wide across the finish. That's a good day.
Yeah, Brian, that was a fantastic finish for you, finishing third, getting third in points also to finish the season out. I mean, it has been impressive watching you race this season, especially with the 1 win you've got as well. I mean, what kind of momentum do you have going into the playoffs, knowing Jake Nichols is going to be showing up every week and being the driver everyone's chasing?
Momentum, I'm not sure, but fun. I'm having a blast. And next week is New Hampshire, so that's one of my favorite tracks, and I think we're going to be pretty good there.
I mean, that was going to be my next question for you, Brian, is we're heading to a flat track. Last time we were at a flat track, that was an oval-ish shape, was Indianapolis. You got the win there. I know it's a short track, flat track. What is the confidence that this is the first race of the chase and you can really set the tone early?
Yeah, as long as we don't make any mistakes or get in trouble or caught up in any wrecks, I feel pretty good at it. I've run many laps there. I've run this car there. So it's a fun track, and yeah, I'm confident.
Well, Brian, we're excited to see how you perform in this chase. I know you're going to be one of the top drivers going for this championship, and we can't wait to see how you run in these final 6 races. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any other shout-outs.
Yeah, shout out to my family, you guys for doing the broadcast, the league admins for putting this show on, our sponsor, Cody Glenn Cox Music, and my teammates, Larry, Ron, and Chris, and everybody watching tonight. Thank you.
Well, that'll be the 8 machine of...
I'm out later.